Did you know that a kid once saved an entire nation? Well, if you're Mexican, you probably already know this story by heart. The US wanted all of this, and they weren't afraid to start a war to get it. As soon as they made their move, they needed to be fast, and they needed to be prepared to fight. When the day finally came, these kids didn't hesitate. They put on their uniforms, grabbed their weapons, and snuck out of their hiding places. Before he knew it, he was hit by a bullet. You see, when the Mexican government heard about the Niños, they jumped at the chance to use their story for propaganda. But one thing is for sure, his story is an important part of Mexican history. Whether he was a hero or a victim, he died defending his country, and that deserves our respect. They promoted these kids as symbols of patriotism and used their image to boost morale. But in reality, these were just kids who were tricked into joining a suicide mission. And while Juan Escutia may have died defending Mexico, it was a controversial mission that many believe was not worth the cost. He fell to the ground, mortally wounded, but he had done his duty. He had defended his country, and he had died a hero. Or did he? The plan was for them to make it to the castle undetected, and then use the element of surprise to overtake the guards. Then they would raise the Mexican flag above the castle once again. At the time, the Mexican army was in desperate need of manpower. If you want to learn more about the Niños, click the link in the description. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. So when they heard that the Americans had taken over a castle called Chapultepec, which just so happened to be filled with Mexican soldiers, they hatched a plan. They would send in a group of kids to take back the castle, but not just any kids. These were the Niños handpicked by the Mexican government and trained in secret for such an operation. Their mission was simple: sneak into the castle and take back the Mexican flag at all costs. It's a tale as old as time about the Niños, the children heroes who fought for their country until their dying breath. And today we'll meet one of them, a child soldier named Juan Escutia. In 1847, the United States and Mexico were fighting a war over disputed lands. The problem was the castle was guarded by hundreds of American soldiers, and the Niños only had one shot. But as they crept closer to their target, the group began to get nervous. This was it. There was no turning back now. One of the boys, a young man named Juan Escutia, knew he might die on this mission. And in that moment, he began to regret his decision to join the Niños. He was only 13 years old, and all he wanted to do was go home and see his mother. As they got closer to the castle, they started to hear gunshots. The element of surprise was ruined. Someone had spotted them. They had no choice but to fight their way to the top of the castle. And when they finally reached the peak, they found the Mexican flag still standing. But before they could raise it, they were attacked by the American soldiers. A fierce battle ensued. The Mexican soldiers fought bravely, but they were outnumbered. One by one, they were taken down until there was only Juan Escutia left. With the last of his strength, he raised the flag and shouted, "For Mexico, for liberty, for independence." While his story may sound heroic, some people say it's nothing more than propaganda. So what's the real story here? Is Juan Escutia a hero or a victim of circumstance? That's up to you to decide. Thanks for watching.